Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the NFT Morning Show. If it is your first time listening, we run the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, each and every week, where we discuss all things NFTs, crypto, technology, entertainment, gaming, finance, and just about everything in between. I'm your host, P.O., here with my co-host, Nifty Nick, funniest man in the business. I'm sure he'll be on the show at some point. We got Signal, the host of the Artist Spotlight series at the Nifty. She's also weather reporter extraordinaire. Love hearing her takes on the NFT market and what is going on in the NFT art world. We got Easy, the dog behind Bodoggos. He does have to get on the Twitter stage. Dog behind Bodoggos, the host of GM Market Talk, day trader extraordinaire. Nobody follows the market across chains the way this guy does. Kicks, repping his sophisticated pudgy penguin, a nod to his previous identity in Web3. He is the founder and CEO, co-founder and CEO of Crypto Raiders. They dropped Cyber Stadium, a very cool NFT gaming initiative where 100% of the prize pool goes directly to the players. You might hear more about that today. That's what I'm talking about. That's that Cyber Stadium call. We got Clemente, the man behind the scenes, the producer of the show, would not be able to do the show without him. We have Spencer of Spencer Ventures representing for institutional capital in the NFT space. Top performing NFT fund, we all think. If somebody feels that another fund is performing better, they should let us know. To me, it's all Spencer Ventures these days. And last but not least, we have Bunny. Bunny, your bio just says nature sucks.
Yeah, dude, I can't stop sneezing, man. My allergies been killing me for like a week.
Did you say that? Well, Clemente titled this show "Nature is Healing." Are you trying to take the opposite, the opposite take on that?
That was coincidental, man. I didn't even see the title.
What kind of allergies do you have, Bunny?
I don't know, the ones that make me sneeze, like my eyes get itchy. What do you mean, what allergies? What am I allergic to?
Yeah.
I don't know. The stuff that makes me sneeze.
Bunny, I'm not gonna lie. It sounds kind of soft.
What's that? So having allergies?
You ever heard of Claritin, dude? Like it's like 2023. They
have to take that shit every day, dude.
I'm allergic to pollen, but I'm not crying about it like a little bitch.
Yeah, but
like I see it all over the street.
You sound fine. You don't sound congested, so
yeah, that's because I'm doing incredibly well because I'm strong, not weak.
And Nick also eats locally sourced honey, which helps his body build antibodies to the local pollen. Step up your game, Bunny.
And locally crafted chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, the locally sourced raw, unfiltered honey is definitely the way Mother Nature intended for it. Nick, how you doing this morning, buddy?
Doing pretty well. You know, I slept last night, which is a key part of sleeping. Some nights I don't. Last night I did, so I'm feeling pretty good about that.
That's fantastic.
I also watched a movie before I went to bed, which was Sisu. Have you seen this?
No.
The guy just kills Nazis.
Interesting. So what's the actual plot? Just that?
The plot is he found gold.
Okay.
And he's trying to cash it in to get a check or like he's trying to get cash for it because carrying around gold is inconvenient. So he wants to cash it in. But this is in the middle of the war and the Nazis have lost and they're heading back. And they're just awful people, those Nazis. We already know that. And so he literally is just kills them style, like John Wick style. Like it's basically John Wick, but with Nazis as the enemies.
Well, that's very interesting. I actually watched something last night after I finished the episode of Succession that I had to catch up on. I watched Chimp Empire. Very interesting. It's from the filmmaker that made My Octopus Teacher, which was a little bit of a viral hit on Netflix. Chimp Empire. He's now studying chimps. Pretty cool stuff.
There's also, so I'm not familiar with Chimp Empire, but I did see the preview for Cocaine Bear.
Yeah. That's directed by what's her name? Elizabeth. I forget what her last name is. That one's supposed to be funny.
I kind of wanted to see it. The reviews are awful, but the preview looked hilarious.
One of those movies, dude. Previews look
Horrible.
terrible.
Horrible movie.
Clemente, bad take. So in terms of Cocaine Bear, apparently the most horrible thing about it is that like they're making it entertaining, but it's based on a true story where the bear just dies.
Oh, that's terrible. That's just terrible.
You just
he did
spoiled the
cocaine?
movie.
What?
You just spoiled the ending.
What are you talking about, dude?
You're not supposed to see.
Dude, a bear eats pounds of cocaine, and you're gonna be like, yeah, he lives. He definitely does great long term.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I saw the last clip in the preview, and one was like, "What's up with that bear?" It's like the main quote, and you're supposed to fill in the blank, being like, "He did a lot of.
He did a lot of cocaine. Look at that, Nick. What do you think of? What do you make of Clemente's outfit today? It's a different style outfit from what he normally wears. Wow, he's right.
No one's rooting for the Heat. Dude.
This guy is literally get off the screen. He's got a stupid Heat jersey. Even though he lives in Seattle and is from Seattle, you got nothing to do with Miami, bruh. The Celtics are going to come back. No, they're not. Actually, they have no backbone, no leadership, and an immature coach too.
Clemente looks like the guy at your local Lifetime Fitness when you're playing pickup basketball, and like he's like warming up really well, and then just like chokes as soon as he gets in the game.
He needs goggles.
They're doing worse. The Celtics are doing worse than the Knicks, man. The Knicks could have probably ended up beating the Celtics if they had won.
Maybe Jason Tatum wants to be the main player, but he doesn't want to be a leader at all. And I think he also doesn't want to allow anyone else to be a leader. So the only way for him to save face would be if like a player like Kawhi Leonard or LeBron James, like a established, already won a championship player, join the team. Because then you could be like, all right, they're the leader now because they're them, but I'm still Jason Tatum. It's actually a disaster. I would not want to be the Celtics GM. Anyway. Yeah. Today, we're going to discuss the surge in art blocks. All those different art blocks collections are pumping. PSYOP. PSYOP came back from the dead, and we're going to see where it can go from here. Bitcoin NFTs flipped Solana in 24-hour NFT volume. I mean, it's ordinal season right now. I know Kix knows about that. I know Easy knows about that. We're going to talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, today's show is brought to you by Cyber Stadium, a product by our very own Kixie boy on this show. We're going to give away 10 gladiators, courtesy of Cyber Stadium today. That's the first closed loop, or excuse me, Cyber Stadium is the first closed loop 100% on-chain NFT game. So if you mint today's free NFT that we drop later in the show, you have a chance to win one of the 10 golden ticket versions that give you a giveaway. Kix, what should people expect from this giveaway?
Yo, I minted these gladiators like 5 days in. So these gladiators have like 45 days worth of gear. I mean, some of these got like 2-3 legends. They're stadium ready. They're ready to go in and start printing some of that hot cash. But yeah, I mean, even if you get a gutter one, it's still worth probably at least $80. So put some ranch on that and call it a meal.
Okay, and so Cyber Stadium is all the money in the prize pool goes to the players, right?
Yep. Yeah. So whenever people mint into the game or any of the secondary royalties, all of that money goes to fueling the prize pool for the game. So I think we've paid out like 120 grand so far. And there's still 180 grand left in the prize pool. So it's been a really good time, really awesome success. It was basically like a pilot program experiment for us to just see what happens when you launch an on-chain game where all of the money that players spend on the game like flows into player prize pool. So it's like exactly like equal sum, right? There's no project or person, taking money off of the top. There's no Ponzi-nomics or anything like that. So that's our first game. It's been going fantastic. And then in July, we're launching our next game in that space called Midnight Heist. So looking forward to that.
Midnight Heist. That sounds pretty cool. I'd like to have an NFT made of Buddy playing Midnight Heist.
Oh, we got to get him in there. We could 100% get him in there as one of the characters. So that'd be cool.
Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, love to hear that you guys were building a sustainable economy in that game. Let's get into it. Let's get into this weather report. Back to you, Kicks.
Okay, I'm a little nervous because last time I did the weather report, I hit the wrong button. But you just gotta have confidence in life. You can't be a good trader if you don't have confidence. I know I hit the right button.
It's really loud.
Oh, now we're just hearing the music.
You guys can hear it. I couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
You guys can hear it. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, guys, let's just roll it back on the tape. Roll it back on the tape. We're
Are
good.
your
Here we go.
headphones plugged into
Today
the
is Tuesday,
computer?
the 23rd of May, 2023. Volume coming in $33.4 million. That's looking good. Blur 15.8. OpenSea even up 7.1. They were down in the mid fives earlier this week. Leaders, Apes 45.5. Mutants below 10, 9.5. Punks below 50, 48.1. Azuki below 15. Degods 8.6, Captainz 8.2, Pudgies 5.7, Moonbirds 2.1. So the oldies not looking too hot, but the newbies, Degods and Captainz and Pudgies doing well. Over the past 24 hours, Nifty Gateway announced next month that qualified collectors will earn rewards on purchases determined by lifetime spend on Nifty Gateway. Potential rewards start from a few dollars all the way up to 100K. I spent $250,000 at Nifty Gateway, hoping I get some free money. Blend announced 2 new collections, Kanpai Pandas and Redacted Remilio Babies. Kanpai saw an uplift before the official announcement, pumping from 1 to 1.4 on Sunday, while the Remilios were up 30% on the news. Ledger drama continued after the CEO acknowledged that governments could subpoena access to user funds held on a Ledger device that has subscribed to its new recovery service. So if you're doing highly illegal shit, I recommend you do not sign up for the recovery service. Lastly, Artist Ferocious shared on a Zoom call with holders that the PFP collection is coming August, September 2023. It'll be 20K size. Paint will give access to pre-sale, and the artist has signed a deal with Adidas. Paint has been running this past week. It's almost up 40% at 0.42. We got some paint lovers on the stage right now. We'll see what they have to say about that.
We'd be huffing it. You know what I'm saying?
Baby. Quickly looking over at crypto, Bitcoin 27.2, ETH 1800. Ooh, Solana, a little bit of pullback. Easy. Get your shit together. 19.8, 83.4. Back to you in the studio.
Hey, I was going to say one thing as a quick follow on. If you're signed up at the nifty.com, make sure you connect your Ethereum and your Solana wallet. We're going to be doing giveaways limited to just that. Why? Because that's how you're going to get access to the Bodagos drop. So if you haven't done that, go over to the nifty.com, click on settings, and you can just connect your wallets. By the way, if you have portals in it, you can use Delegate Cash. If you're a portal holder specifically, you best be doing this. Go over to the nifty.com. Technically, I think it's /settings, and then connect your ETH wallet that has your portals. Or if you have it in a ledger, you can use delegate.cash in order to do that.
Look at Herbivore's comment, Nick.
Or if you have it in a ledger, you know, the government can just give it to us. So there you go.
You're on the wrong mic. I just solved the, or maybe you're just not close to it. I don't know.
Wrong mic.
Herbivore said, I'm scared to connect my wallets to that site. Well, that's a good thing that we have delegate.cash set up to enable you to go do that. Make a hot wallet, connect it to your ledger or whatever via delegate.cash. Problem solved. Then you can stop posting those comments like a stupid loser.
Yeah. And also, you would know well in advance if Nick was going to rug you. Like, you would see some deterioration happening on the morning show. Like, there would be signs. You know what I mean? He's not going to rug you out of the blue. Okay. So relax.
There's a long process for me to get there. Okay.
I mean, Nick was talking about sniffing paint. If you don't connect your wallets to the site, you might as well drink some paint. You know what I mean? Anyways,
Drink paint.
Drink pain. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, some other updates from the Nifty Daily Digest, which is the daily.
Do not drink paint, kids. You know, for the couple of kids that are listening, I just want to be clear about that. Do not drink paint. Do not smell it. Anything like that. These are just bad things that bad people do.
There you go. Don't drink paint.
And they get their ledger. They get their ledger confiscated by the U.S. government. Those types of people drink paint. And they're
ledger people have to pay taxes now. Anyway, some updates from the Nifty Daily Digest, which is available if you have an account at thenifty.com. You're going to need that to win this Cyber Stadium giveaway later in the show when you mint those free NFTs. Anyway, after the successful Sotheby's Three Arrows Capital auction, several Art Blocks collections have rallied, with Fidenza up to an 87 Ethereum floor again, Ringers up to a 43 Ethereum floor, and Gazers up to 18 ETH. I mean, that was a crazy auction. $1 million Fidenza sales. Let's go. Azure Bala, haven't heard from them in a little bit, unveiled burn details for their upcoming PFP collection, setting the window from June 15th to July 26th and requiring the burn of a bored and dangerous NFT plus an additional 0.08 ETH on top of that. Last but not least, STEPN, the Web3 lifestyle app, you probably heard it buzzing a little while back, became the first application of its kind to integrate with Apple Pay, enabling users to buy in-app items without needing to use crypto. So STEPN doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Those are your updates from the Nifty Daily Digest. Again,
oh, sorry. When you say it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, it makes you seem like it seems like they're not trying at all.
It can be interpreted two ways. They're not leaving or they're not doing shit.
I meant in the good way, because that was like definitively an update of progress. Anyway, look, so we got Remelios and Campai Pandas added to blend. NFT statistics pointed out that Campai Pandas rallied the day before, so the news leaked. Not as tight as some of the Blur stuff. Do we think that blend is going to keep pumping stuff, or is it just totally normal now? I think it's probably pretty normal, right? Yeah. Spencer?
I would say it's normal. Me personally, I said it yesterday too, that I felt like this is like, at this point, they're just going to keep adding collections. Maybe we continue to see that short-term pump for like the next one or two. I thought we'd get way more than just two. I think it was really interesting we got redacted Remelio babies, because that's now like a very cost-efficient one. That's 0.17, I think, for people to...
It's way more than that. Oh, you mean like
to use
the minimum on blend?
Yeah, to use the benipple for it, it's 0.17, which is like the cheapest option for any of those assets.
Spencer, you were going to weigh in?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting to. I thought it was cute how they changed the Blur logo to have the Campai Pandas. Did they do that for Degods?
The Degods had the whole front page before.
Whole front
they
page.
had like everything was Degods when they
So,
first joined.
I actually, I agreed with you yesterday when you said or the other day when you said you thought there was gonna be a lot more collections, but I kind of like the way they're doing it. This is an opportunity for Pac-Man to go around collection to collection, have a conversation with the founders, figure out a way to help them out, work with them. When was the last time that we saw like something like OpenSea go back to collections that weren't doing a launch, collaborate with them, etc. And so I thought it was interesting though too, because Campai Pandas and Redacted Remelio babies were the first two that weren't on the 2x points list, right? So this is like kind of a shakeup, and it makes me think, okay, now who's it going to be that we have left, right, etc. So kind of interesting set of things going on.
Yeah, I think so for sure. I mean, I think that we're going to keep seeing collections added to Blur, to blend. And at the end of the day, look, people keep saying, people write YouTube comments and they say, I can't believe you guys support Blur. It's killing the NFT space. No, it's not. I don't know what to tell you. It is not killing the space. Bunny, you have your hand raised. What's going on? Bunny. All right, Bunny.
Hey, Pio, what's up? Sorry, I was doing something. Spencer was saying that they're having like Pac-Man's having conversations with dude. Who is the founder of Redacted Remelio babies?
I guarantee it's an Anon person, right?
Yeah, there's no way they had a conversation, right?
Maybe a Discord conversation. The Anon people seem to like that.
Or they hop on a call with you with their video turned off on Google Meet or whatever tool you're using, which gives you a lot of confidence. Kix, you're muted, by the way.
Maybe they show up to the Discord and they're just in a huge furry outfit with a voice modulator.
Hey, I'm X29587 on Twitter. What?
Is it a goblin holder?
I think all those things are possibilities. Fun fact, one time early in my NFT career, I had a call with someone. I was like, yo, you down to do a call? He was like, yeah, totally. It was like someone that knew about rare Pepes is who it was. Someone that could educate me on how to get rare Pepes when Pepes were buzzing. And I went on the video call and he just kept typing in the Discord. And I was like, yo, like I'm on the video call. And he's like, I don't want to voice docs. So I said words to him on the video call and he typed back to me on Discord. I was
He
like,
just stared at you.
this is really normal. Look, moving on. Clemente titled this topic, Art is on the Rise. Is nature healing? Following the successful Sotheby's auction, generative art has been trending upward. 7-day prices, you got up 70% on friendship bracelets. You got up 70% on Fidenzas. You got Chromie Squiggles up 30%. You got Ringers up 44%. It seems like the top 5 or so Art Blocks collections have had very positive price action following this. I think that makes a lot of sense. $1 million sale in the Sotheby's auction of one Fidenza is no joke. When I talk to the folks that I know on the art side of the market, they reference 3 artists. I think I mentioned it yesterday: Beeple, Sam Spratt, and why am I drawing a blank? Tyler Hobbs, obviously, and you see that reflected with the Fidenza thing. Interesting that we don't see any QQQ or QQL monster sales. Seems like that one isn't being favored by the market as much. But we also saw a little bounce back with your traditional kind of like profile picture NFT startup collections. I saw that Oniforce bounced back after a dip. And there's some other, rallies in that world. It seems like Captainz pulled back a little bit. I wonder if that's because Blur is not, or they're not supported on Blur. But yeah, I'd love to know like what you guys think about the state of the market. Obviously, Ordinals having a lot of, a lot of action as well. Easy. What do you make of what you're seeing out there?
It's really interesting because like you are seeing a lot more size and volume come into the Ordinals, BRC20s. Someone on MySpace this morning actually acknowledged that 2 rug pulls finally happened on Ordinals this morning, which was like yeah, dude, that's what I said. I said we're so back. So 2 rug pulls happened.
That's back.
Yeah, that's back. That's like back. And we're seeing like a ton of trending sales. It's actually impressive because Magic Eden is the leading Ordinal marketplace.
Shit, dude.
They're crushing it. Yeah, they're crushing. They're all in. They're all in. It's good to see. And a lot of people from Solana, ETH, and traditional Bitcoin are now trading Ordinals. So you're getting like basically a confluence of all the market participants that are still around, excited about it and participating. We saw Bitcoin frogs continue to run. Yesterday was actually the pizza day, the infamous 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 Papa John pizzas. And there's Ordinals project called Pangoose. That was yeah.
Spencer just made a face of, well, we're going to talk about all this stuff because I have a lot of thoughts on it, specifically with kicks.
Just real quick, there was that's what ran yesterday was because the Pangoos were on one of the Bitcoins that was traded for the pizzas. So people actually look for this, like, since they've been
provenance of the
exactly
of the Satoshis.
Yeah, so they're looking at which ones they're on. And people went nuts over this because it was the first Ordinal project that was on a Bitcoin pizza on pizza day. They ran to their all-time high of 0.03 Bitcoin, which like,
damn.
Yeah. And that's what's crazy is like, you think that and you're like 0.03, like that's nothing in ETH, 0.03, that's nothing in Sol. 0.03 Bitcoin, some size. Like that's some cash.
If you're throwing around 0.03 Bitcoin on some Pingu pictures, first of all, you're an idiot. Second, no, I'm just kidding. But so I saw kicks.
How much is it? $1,000?
0.03 BTC to USD is
$750.
Yeah, $800. I mean, it's not that much money, right?
Well, for reference, they ran from $20.
They ran from 20. So I saw Kix change his profile picture in the Discord to one of these random ass like Pingu things. And he was like talking about calling it a cookerino. He tweeted about it. I was like, this feels exactly like 2021 Kicks right here. And that really was, I was like, oh, okay. So the Bitcoin NFT thing's really about to pump. I've been talking to Trevor about it. We're going to talk about it on the Bitcoin show today. And toxic Bitcoin maxis are big mad right now. Like, look at this art, Nick. Kicks buying these, changing his profile picture to them in Discord and tweeting about them and talking about them on Discord.
I saw him tweet it and I was FOMOing about it. But
there's
don't
more.
worry. I got it. I got another drop coming up according to Easy. So
yeah,
look, I need more allow lists. That's what I'm looking for here so that I can print free money. It's been frustrating for me.
I'd be simping to get on Bitcoin whales. I think that art is sick. You should try to get on the Bitcoin whales.
See, so Kix knows like this. All of this are indicators of Bitcoin ordinals being a big deal. Toxic Bitcoin maxis are big mad. There was an audio recording of a guy just losing his shit about Udi Wardheimer and Eric Wall wearing wizard costumes on stage at the Bitcoin conference, dancing about Taproot wizards. The guy was big mad. It was really something.
So much. He was like, this is effing ridiculous. You guys aren't doing any effing thing. Eric actually had like the best mic drop moment on that stage. He was going back and forth with the individual in which they were like, Eric looked the guy in the eyes and was like, what are you doing? We're trying to deflate UTXO transactions, which are like the gas and like the size of the transaction. He's like, we're trying to improve the chain. Now tell me what you're doing. And the guy just went dead silent.
That moment was a little too intense for me. And I'm a guy that watches mixed martial arts on a regular basis. The way Eric Wall looked at him and said, what are you doing? And like basically dropped the mic. I was like, good God, that was like really intense. But okay, we got to cover a couple things.
What did the guy do? Like I got to watch this thing. I want to feel the intensity of that moment.
It was an intense moment for sure. This is the guy. This guy's big mad. I mean, you can play this for 1 second. This isn't very positive. Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to hear an angry man. Clemente, let it rip for like 10 seconds.
Eric Wall, suck my whatever. Okay? You guys don't understand. This is about the children.
All right, you can just pause it. You get the picture. The guy's out of his mind.
What's about the children? I don't understand.
Like Bitcoin is going to save the children, Nick, is this guy's position. That's literally it. And Bitcoin's not meant for wizard pictures. It's meant to save the children and do very important stuff like that. Even though the ordinals are saving Bitcoin because they're increasing activity on the chain like tenfold, increasing fees, blah, blah, blah. But Spencer, you made a face about the 10,000 Bitcoins for pizza. Are you not aware of Bitcoin Pizza Day?
No, of course I'm aware of Bitcoin Pizza Day. It's just every time I think about it, it hurts a little bit, you know? It's like...
But it made Bitcoin, like, you know what I mean? Like the 10,000 Bitcoins weren't today's 10,000 Bitcoins.
No, but they were. But they were.
I know they were. But
I know they. Well, and it reminds me of all this shit. Like I don't know if I told this story on the show, but my first like introduction to crypto really was back in that era because it was a little bit later, right? So it was like when Doge was coming out. My friends and I, which is. Yeah, when Doge first came out, like I want to say like within a week, because it was like Doge, and there was also there was Kanye coin back then, which was like if you ever saw the South Park episode where Kanye with the fish sticks. Anyway, it got there was a whole
Kanye
around
with
that.
The fish sticks.
Yeah, that was the picture was the Kanye, and so it was Doge and Kanye coin, and we used to. It was like a gag gift. If you showed up to your friend's birthday and you didn't have something to give them, you would just buy them like $10 or $20 worth of Dogecoin, and we all. No idea what we did with it because it was like like Dogecoin, whatever, right? It's up 10,000% since we used to do that. So all of that, every $10 was like $10,000 now, or $1,000 or whatever. And the only person who found it was we once went to my friend's family country house and we gifted $20 of Doge to his dad, who's a hedge fund manager.
And he held it?
He kept it.
Wow.
He sat us all down. He's like, let this be a cautionary tale to all of you to never give away gifts. Don't lose gifts. Don't misplace your
never give gifts.
Never give away your gifts. Like never lose your gifts that you've given each other. Because he's the only one who kept it.
I love it. The guy who makes money is the guy who has a magnet to keeping the money. I think that just goes to show you, like, if you make money, you make money. If you don't make money, you lose the money. So I'm glad that the hedge fund manager won in that story.
It would have been even better if he like pulled out like $1,000 cigar and he's like, now I'm smoking my gains. And you guys got nothing.
Wow, so now Kix is just making him a character. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hang out with Spencer's friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, if it is your first time listening, this is the NFT Morning Show. We run the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. We're doing a 10 NFT giveaway in honor of Cyber Stadium today. Kix's project, who's a sponsor of the show. So if you want to go and make an account at thenifty.com, you can claim today's free NFT, totally free, and there's a chance that you'll win one of the 10 Cyber Stadium giveaways, and you'll see that reflected right when you claim the NFT. You'll see a Cyber Stadium NFT that's gold instead of the regular one. So look, back to Bitcoin Ordinals. I got my Web3 Bitcoin wallet, which felt good. It feels good, man. And I see a lot of I got Xverse. Xverse is what I got. And I see people in our Discord typing in, how do I convert ETH to BTC? Like, what's a bridge for me to convert ETH to BTC? And I'm like, wow, this is music to my ears, baby.
This is the first time I've ever had Bitcoin on chain. I've only ever before this day had Bitcoin on exchanges. Now I officially have Bitcoin because the first time I bought Ordinals, I was doing it, back in the spreadsheet days. You know what I mean? You didn't need Bitcoin back then. You just sent some Ethereum to someone and you just sat on a spreadsheet. But yeah, now I got a 0.3 Bitcoin just ready to tear it up over on Ordinals.
I'll match you on that. I'll dump 0.3 Bitcoin into this Xverse wallet, and we're gonna run this thing up. I'm pretty pumped about it.
So I'm using a Unisat wallet. Should I not be using that? Is that?
I use Unisat. I like Unisat. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the two right now: are Xverse, Unisat, and then there's a third that's like a little bit lower called Hero Wallet. But most people say Xverse or Unisat are the two primary ones right now.
I don't understand. There's some complexity to it. I've not transferred any Bitcoin into it yet, just because I'm like, I don't know.
It's very easy. So the easiest way is like if you have
that
money
easy,
on
Kicks? I'm missing $500. I sent it to the wrong address.
Well, I mean, that's just a bozo move, dude.
Wait a minute. Time out. If Easy messed it up, it's not Easy because Easy's he's like a savant with this stuff. So
yeah, I fumbled. I copied the wrong address and bridged it to the wrong address.
Well, that can happen anyway.
I fumbled it. Yeah, like it was 100% my back and forth. I was like multitasking and just fumbled. So
I'll give you the TLDR. It's very easy. So basically, create a Unisat wallet, right? And there's normal Bitcoin wallets, and then there's Taproot Bitcoin wallets. You need a Taproot. It's just a drop down menu thing. Don't get scared.
Yeah, I did that. I already did that. But
so if you have a Taproot one, then just from Coinbase, send Bitcoin to that Taproot address. And the technology has advanced rapidly. It used to be like you only could put one ordinal per address. You don't got to worry about any of that crap anymore. Basically, just throw that money into Taproot and then connect to Magic Eden, and you're off to the races. You can just buy it. You just buy it right off Magic Eden.
Well, I'm loading up my Unisat because there's some other stuff. Easy had me connect to a different thing on Unisat. There's like 4 or 5 different.
I had you send me your Taproot address. So Taproot is the address you need. Yeah, that's the one. I said it has to start with BC. It's the only one that starts with BC.
Okay, so BC is Taproot?
Yes, that's the Taproot one. It's how you trade Ordinals and BRC20 tokens only on Taproot. Ordinals and BRC20 tokens cannot be traded on SegWit, Nested, or Native, or the Legacy. So you need a Taproot address for these.
So yeah, when I go to this account, I can basically select, or in the settings area, I can select, there's 4 different, there's Native SegWit, Nested SegWit, Taproot, and Legacy. And so you're saying that I just select the Taproot.
That's what he's saying, Nick. He's not going to respond, but
yeah, I don't understand. Hey, Easy, where did you go?
You do.
I mean, I don't know what you wanted me to say to that. Like, yeah.
Yes, I don't know. Yes, that makes it. Yeah, thank you for your acknowledgement. Thanks.
Well, I don't know what to say. That's exactly. I sent you. Hit the little gear icon. Give me the Taproot address. That's all you need for luckily.
But so I can just send Bitcoin to that Taproot address?
Yeah, you can just send it right from Coinbase right over to that Taproot address. It's going to sit in there all nice and pretty. And then you can just go to Magic Eden. And like if you wanted to buy a Pingu, you literally just click it and you hit buy and you choose your speed. And it's fucking incredible technology.
Now that the Pingus are up 40x, if you want to go over there and buy one, you totally can do it.
It's like buy the one that I've listed, actually, if you're interested in that.
And I don't even know how to sell yet. I haven't tried that, but buying's easy.
I don't believe that you don't know how to sell. Is Spencer Ventures looking into Ordinals and BRC20s?
Yeah, I've looked into it. I don't know. I'm a big believer of there's a lot of stuff going on in crypto and there's a lot of stuff going on in NFTs, and I've in my searchings of ordinals, I haven't found compelling theses of which ones I think will win. Doesn't mean that there won't be things that win, and there's definitely people who are good at it, but we're doing well enough on just like the ETH PFP side that I don't feel a need to branch out right now. There's one BRC20 that I'm looking at. I actually am kind of more interested in BRC20 than ordinals right now, but definitely watching the space play out, because there will be some sort of thesis on it in the next market, right? Like this is a thing. This is sticking around. There will be people make money here. It's just not obvious to me where the money is to be made, and I'd rather watch it play out for a little bit, get more of a feel for what the community is like over there. Because I'll be honest, I'm not a Bitcoin community expert. I'm not an expert in that side. So, kind of sticking to my lane for now. We'll see. I'm definitely missing out on some big wins there, though.
Spencer, sounds really reasonable. What the hell are you doing? You're supposed to just YOLO into absolutely everything that you see. That's how you do NFTs. No, but I think it's actually like a really great opportunity in the sense that a lot of people just flat out didn't understand it coming out the gate, because I saw people saying that ordinals was a meta, like it was a meta. And it's like, nah, bro, this is like a revolutionary improvement to Bitcoin. Like the most important blockchain, it ain't going anywhere, amigo. So you have the initial misunderstanding. Then now you have people that are trying to convert Ethereum to Bitcoin for basically the first time. It's just the beginning. It reminds me of early like Nifty Gateway. It reminds me of early.
Exactly where I think we are.
Yeah, right.
Like most of the stuff that you're buying on ordinals right now are going to be worth nothing in a year from now. They'll be worth like $1.
Sure, absolutely not. Because it's just random ass JPEGs.
Yeah, they'll be worth like the SAT that it's on. That's about it, right? But like I think just understanding the market and like understanding how to like trade on it will pay off in the months ahead when there's actually some like legit like big plays that come. Because I got into ordinals back in February and I bought 2 Bitcoin toads, so they're like sub 5K. They're up pretty decently. But back then you were like trading on spreadsheets.
Or
it's wild how it's
crazy.
wild. Yeah, like 3 months. In the emblem vaults, exactly. Now like only 3 months later, the tech has advanced rapidly. You know what I mean?
Really
like,
rapidly.
Really
it's
rapidly.
Overnight.
So
the other thing too that sorry, go ahead, Kix. There's like a mild delay.
Yeah. You go, Bo.
I was just gonna say what's crazy too is like we are starting to see like these sub 100K just gain traction just based on inscription numbers. And I know Kix has like 2 sub 10K, which is crazy. And I think over time that's like you almost get like this early ENS feel for just how early the inscriptions are. And I'm luckily to be the proud owner of Bunny's Ape sub 100K on an ordinal. It's like 72K. It's the first one in the Bored Ape Bitcoin Club collection. It's recognized. It's worth like 0.7 ETH. So no, I'm not going to split it with him, but I do own his IP rights on Bitcoin.
0.7 ETH.
Yeah.
I thought it was 0.7 Bitcoin when you said 0.7.
No, dude, no, we're not that rich yet. And when we are, I'm going to keep
it
it to myself.
Terrible.
We trade in ETH, man. We convert to ETH. We don't trade in Bitcoin.
Well, on that note, literally, so when I came into the NFT space as a Bitcoiner, right? And I was really stunned by the basically aversion from the NFT community against Bitcoin. They're like, Bitcoin bad, right? And so that actually gives people a better advantage now with ordinals, because you still have people that are like, I don't like Bitcoin, like the number's too big, and they'll be late by the time they get in. Like right now, to me, and by the way, I haven't bought any ordinals or BRC20s. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get access to some of the higher value ones, but I don't have anything. I have no exposure. But I recognize what's happening as a very strong opportunity. I think I saw someone in the comments say us talking about this as a top signal. It's a bottom signal, amigo. This is like very much so the very beginning of this stuff. Like Kix and Easy pointed out, the tech is advancing so rapidly, and the Bitcoin people that have been building, that have been, entrepreneurial, that are technical, they're like, oh, baby, let's cook, let's rock and roll, because now there's actually excitement. There's a market. There's a reason to build these products. It's pretty wild. I saw Kix unmute. Yeah.
Well, I just think it's cool too, because I mean, there's like every single ordinal is 100% on chain, like by nature, right? There's no like on Ethereum, someone can update your metadata or anything like that. Like, there's some cool aspects to the ordinals and early stats, yada, yada, yada. But I would say that we're like early Nifty gateway days in terms of basically there's more liquidity coming in than there is supply of good projects. So that's why like a lot of stuff that will probably won't be around in a while is pumping right now. But I think that like it doesn't like, is it a local top? Is it this or that? Whatever. Like I bought 2 things so far. I think it's just better to understand, have a pulse on the market and understand how to trade it. Because probably over the next 6 months, there's going to be some legit winner projects.
Taproot Wizards.
Legs. Yeah.
Yeah, I also think that token OXBT is a huge one right now. You saw the individual who created that go from 10,000 Twitter followers to 120K in 14 days. Every tweet he posts is like a flash giveaway at the moment, and all of them are doing anywhere from like 1,500 to 3,000 favorites on the tweet, which is like massive in scale. Every chain is currently trying to get a hold of these. I met him in Bitcoin Miami. Guy's like one of the nicest human beings. He reached out multiple times to see if we ever had interest in doing anything with Ordinals, expressed like his interest in helping. And just like he's been actively developing stuff for BRC20s and like their logistics and usability outside of just like minting it and holding a token.
Nick, it seemed like you wanted to get something in.
Yeah, that was about half an hour ago. I'm good now.
Come on. Give us a little chatter.
There's multiple things. One is PO's like the Ethereum community hates Bitcoin. It's just the
NFT community.
It's their enemy. I feel like that's not like broadly that. I mean,
it's not 100%.
Well, you're speaking for 100%. That's what you're saying, Pia. You're saying you're saying greater than 50% of the NFT community believes that Bitcoin is nonsense, which I just don't.
Nonsense. They just have an aversion to it.
I think it's more of an aversion to your commentary on Bitcoin because you're so radical when it comes to that. Is sort of my assessment of what
a radical. The most powerful blockchain by the numbers.
The second thing was Kix was talking about it all being on chain. So the image is hosted on chain.
Kix, you muted, buddy.
Everything is. Yeah, everything is on chain with Ordinals. It's literally inscribed on the Satoshi. Somebody actually inscribed the entire Doom video game on a sub 100K Satoshi. It took like 2.5 days to upload it, but you can play the full Doom game on a Satoshi right in your browser.
Now, how do you does transferring that cost a ton?
So no, because you're just transferring the singular Satoshi. So the transfer is actually specific to that, but it's just like the time to inscribe can take longer. The other thing that can actually be done is you can inscribe over other things if you own that Satoshi. So people can theoretically change what's on that if they own it.
So if you're just transferring essentially the document saying I own this, where is it being hosted? Like where is the image?
It's on the chain.
Okay, but where?
Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's like
no, like literally, Nick.
Like it's literally like
it's on Bitcoin. Like BTC.
Yeah. It's not like IFPS or whatever like that. It's like the file is like in the inscription. But then like you got to like render it. You have to have like a render, like, you know, got
it. So it's like basically taking the binary version of it, encrypting, putting it directly on that item. But when I asked the question of how it's transferred, Easy said, no, you're just transferring the ordinal. Does the ordinal also have the associated binary data? Like
exactly. It's like written. That's like the whole Taproot upgrade to Bitcoin allowed you to attach like some extra data to it, and that's what people are using, that extra data slot. They're using that to put the ordinal like inscription data in there. And the nice thing about ordinals, so on Ethereum, like an Ethereum project can go minus 100%. When you buy an ordinal, it's on a SAT that's worth 10 to 15 cents. So you only can lose like 99.999% of your money, but you can't lose all of it. So there's like another bullish use case.
What's the maximum size of that space?
It's small. It's like a couple. Well, it's I think 5 megabytes. It's in the megabytes. Like it's like I don't think you can put 10 megabytes or 20 megabytes on
That's still pretty sizable. Like you
can
can get
size
some
to it. But it's not like a gigabyte. The other thing too is like the larger the file, like it takes an extended period of time to inscribe it, which is where we saw like that Doom file. I think that's like 3.8, and that took 2.5 days of literally sitting there inscribing and running the node to do so from a singular person without interruption.
Yeah, it gets expensive the bigger the megabytes it is. It gets much more expensive to inscribe.
And
Because
we got,
that's one. Go ahead.
I was just saying, we got Chris here in the comments saying this is madness. I got to get some Bitcoin for the first time. So this is what I'm talking about, right? Like an Ethereum NFT person saying,
I think
wow,
we got to bring ZK Shark back. He was right back in February. He's gonna
I
hold
knew
us
he
over
was
our
right.
head.
I was just like giving him a hard time. I'm a Bitcoin guy, right? But he did also say that like the Declaration of Independence was going to be stored permanently on Bitcoin, which is possible, but like it's just an easy one to like make fun of. It just is. Nick, you were going to say something?
No, I mean, I'm more interested. I'm gonna read the guide to figure out how it's stored. Like, I don't know the syntax that it needs to be in there because you need it to be consistent. One person said it's JSON. I don't
It's
know.
multiple. It supports multiple different things. It can be like PNG, JSON. I think even MP4s.
Where does it like? Where is that described in terms of? I'm assuming it's at ordinals.com is what I'm looking for. I don't know.
We'll figure that out. I mean, we're literally on the Bitcoin show today. It's going to be a combo of recap from the Bitcoin conference and Ordinals talk because Ordinals are cooking. I mean, when Kicks or whoever that was, Clemente, pulled up Magic Eden right there and I saw all those BS PFPs, like just crappy art. That was like music, like visual music to my ears because it's like, that's where we're at in this. And I bet a bunch of those are going to be cooks because people that are interested in Bitcoin they just want to buy something. And there's just such a limited subset of things that you can buy. If people put out NFT projects on Bitcoin right now, they're going to sell. Like they're just going to sell. Clemente, what were you going to say? Oh, Sig?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, so Easy, when it's someone like Udi or, Taproot Wizards or the other guy 0x, like that's really obvious that's going to run really hard. But what's the price action like for when it's completely anon, you don't know who the person is, like what kind of 2x, like what kind of returns are you seeing there on Ordinals versus like what you've been seeing on Solana recently?
It's really interesting because like there are some projects on Sol that have still done like 2, 3, 4, 5x, etc. A lot of them are still like closer to 40-50% returns, similar to like the ETH side of things. I would even say that there's still a little bit better opportunity on Sol. ETH is still kind of playing around with the shitcoin meta meme coins at the moment, but Bitcoin is like, if you bought Bitcoin frogs 2 weeks ago for $20, they got as high as I think it was $5,000 for those. And I know one person who bought 160 of them at $25 and scaled out at like 3 to 4K. So like that's a massive payday for them. It's just people who had that belief and conviction. And now that interest kind of cycled over here, you're seeing multiple 100x's on Bitcoin. And yes, it is some Anon founders short-term price appreciation. 2 days ago, we saw that like blow off top where Bitcoin Frogs was the highest traded NFT asset across all chains. And then it retraced shortly thereafter, only to make a newer high yesterday. So like it's this ebbs and flows and the market moves much slower. Like coming from Solana, which is instantaneous, you can't leave your desk. Bitcoin moves even slower than Ethereum on secondary price action, where it's a much slower change of pace just because those transactions can take a long time. You have the
and what's a long time for these transactions? Easy.
It can be up to like 15 to 20 minutes for a buy to go through, which is like
if
compared
you go
to
on,
ETH,
if you go on Magic Eden, you'll see like a bunch of spinning transactions. Like basically those ordinals have been bought, but they haven't been like transferred yet. They're still like in the process of transferring. So like if you see a collection that's like in high demand, like Pingu's 2 days ago, like the first 30 of them were spinning, meaning someone had already bought them. It's just that like the transaction, like the way ordinals work is basically like you instead of like Ethereum where you're like, you're fast gassing to like get the transaction to actually submit. Instead with like ordinals, you're buying it and you're like locking it in and then just waiting for the transaction to process, which can take a longer period of time. Like you could slow gas it and can take like a really long period of time. But Signal, just to give you like a perspective, my buddy that I traded with on Nifty Gateway in January 2021, he hit me up like a week ago and he's like, I'm feeling kind of like Nifty Gateway vibes here. And he put in like 0.05 Bitcoin like 2.5 weeks ago, and he ran it up to like 0.3. So he's gotten like a 6x in like 2.5 weeks on his bag. And he only trades ordinals. He doesn't do anything with like BRC20s, which is like the equivalent of like tokens on Bitcoin, like ERC20s. Another one of our buddies has been focused mostly on BRC20s and has been doing well.
Oh, Kicks, you tweeted this 6 days ago. I thought I was saying some revolutionary stuff. You already put this on wax 6 days ago.
Well, I have a tweet from January before they even had the name Ordinals where I was like, dude, I guarantee this year Bitcoin NFTs are going to like take off and it's going to shock everyone. Because you just got to think about it. It's literally Bitcoin. It's not like Canto chain or like other chains. It's literally Bitcoin. Like it's the #1 chain in existence. Like obviously some things are going to cook.
It was also fun to like learn about it all. Like going the route of like with the Bitcoin punks was like for me enjoyable to like relearn how to do stuff. Like it was the first time I emblem vaulted something. And it really does feel like when I was first learning about Solana in September 2021 and like how to use the wallets and like get familiar with it. And like it's still so early that I'm even messing up on some stuff with like the Unisat wallet. Cause like Unisat wallet didn't exist. Xverse didn't exist even back in like February. So it's like the growth and the speed at which people are iterating on this is insane. And like I think we're only going to continue to scale. Like you have OXB, which is a marketplace now listing BRC20 tokens, and like exchanges getting into this, where like we are starting to see a much bigger scale of outside interest in this. And to Pio's point and conviction for like so long, people feel comfortable with Bitcoin regardless of like where it's being leveraged, which opens up just a much wider market dynamic.
For sure. And I mean, two things. So like there is an advantage to having the NFT experience under your belt already from Ethereum, Solana, and other chains. Because for example, Bitcoin Magazine, which is like a major publication in Bitcoin, they put out an NFT of like a magazine cover. Like that was their first Ordinals. You know, it's a big deal. Our pal, you know, an investor in the Nifty, Trevor Owens, my co-host on the Bitcoin show, won that auction because he basically fast gassed somebody else that didn't have experience with NFT trading on Ethereum. He just came through with his NFT fast gas experience and gassed them out and literally bought that first one. So it's pretty crazy. And then like, I mean, secondly, I don't know. I just feel like it really is the beginning, and the tech that's developing is a pretty damn exciting thing, and people have been waiting to do that. I always talk to Nick about going to Solana events, right? Because when I go to Solana events, it's a really eye-opening experience. When I went to the Vegas Solana event, when I went to Breakpoint in Lisbon, you see this audience that's significantly different than the audience that you get if you go to a Doodles event or a Moonbirds event, an Ethereum NFT project event. It's just so significantly different. I've been to a couple Bitcoin events now, and let me tell you, that audience is different too. It's a way different audience. So you have this unique audience, and when you see it with your own eyes, you kind of start to get it. We can move on from Ordinals. Nick, it looks like you're thinking about something. I'd love to know what you're thinking about.
I was looking at the technology side. What did you want to say, Kicks? You want to interrupt me again? Come say it to my face. Come over here. Say it to my face.
I'm thinking about you.
Okay, so the Ordinals thing is mime type and just the body, which is pretty straightforward. Which is
yes. Like unlike art blocks, there's not like an on-chain visualizer. You know what I mean? Like because I think with art blocks, like that can actually be processed by a smart contract and like visualize completely on chain. Like Ordinals,
no,
it have to use an off-chain visualizer.
It generates a script. It is and it's literal, like they store the JavaScript that's stored, which with art blocks. So it's actually JavaScript that's being stored inline. But so I don't think it's just storing.
It requires off-chain JavaScript to
visualize. But in this case, this is the same thing as the way a browser works. When you make a request for something, the browser says, oh, that's JPEG, and here's the string of bytecode associated with that. And the browser says, okay, I'll render that as a JPEG. So it's using the same protocol as the internet for storing that information, which is really interesting. And the fact that you can like verify that this thing exists and also that it's immutable is quite interesting. A lot of the stuff that we're doing with NFTs now that you see on Ethereum is mutability, and inherently you're going to see more of that when the medium supports it. Essentially, like if you have a medium that supports that type of thing, it'll go down that path. It was the same time as when we saw like Flash websites get popular. And the websites, you had no idea like what the website was about. There's just a bunch of moving stuff. And when you get someone who doesn't natively understand design, they're like, I want that. I want that. Look, that does more things than that other site over there. That does more things. Like I know that this is a blog and people just read it for text, but look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that over there. It's flashy. It's flashy. It's colorful. So people want that sort of the same thing with dynamic. I remember a lot of people early on that I was speaking to. They're like, "Hey, you do code. Are you able to help with this thing?" And they'd immediately want like dynamic NFTs. So as long as it supports that, the media, like people will inevitably go down that path. I think on the Bitcoin side, though, I mean, there's an argument to be made that it's potentially better for art. The only thing that's that people will be pissed off about is the environmental side of things, and there's no modifying that basically. And that was, I saw Pio rolling his eyes, but that's because he doesn't respect artists. And what I noticed is, sorry, not to put words in your mouth, but that's why. And so, like the reality is, there's a lot of people, especially businesses, that don't want FUD about the stuff that they're producing, and so they sort of stay clear of anything that has any argument associated with this being damaging for the environment. Pia, we don't need to hear about your hatred of artists. It's all good. I see you raising your hand.
I created the artist spotlight vertical at the Nifty.
Signal did, yeah.
Well, I talked to her about creating it.
You need credit? You want me to send you a nice note to congratulate you for your creation there, Pia? You created the artist spotlight, but you know where it's not happening? On Bitcoin, because the artists don't want that, and you disrespect them. You said, "Oh, let's do it on Bitcoin," and every artist was like, No. I care about the environment.
Number two, in the future, your house is going to run on one of those big ass Tesla batteries that goes on the wall that's powered by solar energy, and the energy that would otherwise be wasted will be used to mine proof of work crypto like Bitcoin, so that none of the energy is wasted. So I don't want to hear it. And we'll have nuclear energy mining Bitcoin. I mean, that's just real. That's just like the trajectory of energy development in the world in the future over the next 5 decades. Anyway, moving on. Before we wrap, want to touch on PSYOP. PSYOP came back from the dead, 165% gain in 24 hours. Is there anything worth discussing here, Easy? Anything at all?
Well, Ben.eth has 84 approvals for other contracts for that wallet. There's currently 4,000 Ethereum sitting in it. So that's a pretty good sitting duck, if I would say so. On top of it, the individual who created PSYOP currently holds 97% of the token supply. So a bunch of really good signs for a token. It's at a $1.3 billion market cap. Also great. $14 million in liquidity. So a lot of just really good signs when theoretically somebody could dump the full 9.7 million at will. Also, BitBoy paid 1,000 ETH this morning for Ben token to that same wallet that deployed PSYOP. So yeah, it's just a bunch of moving parts. You ever see a train wreck and you know how you just can't look away? Because that's kind of like how I feel right now.
Ben is up significantly since that went down.
Yeah, officially closed that. So now Ben coin is owned by BitBoy.
Pretty wild. Bunny, you have your hand raised. Something to weigh in on PSYOP?
I think Easy hit just about everything. The last thing is that, so Ben said that he's been getting hit up to be like an advisor on some of these coin projects, right, where he's getting promised allocation, and he's going to airdrop that to PSYOP holders. So like the 1% of the Ben supply is going to be airdropped to PSYOP holders.
Okay, well, look at that. We'll see where this bullshit goes. Why don't we dive into the free NFT as we wrap so that Kicks can share a little? Nick, wait a minute, Nick, what's going on, man?
I mean, this is just ridiculous, dude. It's like,
which part, the Ordinals, the PSYOP, or the Ben coin?
Well, here's the thing: is like the meme coin meta is still, very much going on. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, I don't know how much of the coin he airdropped out to people, but like if you actually got all of like your tokens and it's up 2.5x, like you can't shit on gains. So I'm sure there's some interesting stuff going on with like the V3 liquidity ranges on that. But at the end of the day, man, if you bought it at X and you could sell it for 2.5x profit, that's a fucking guap, dude. Can't talk shit about that. At least not me. But there's been a bunch of like other, like there's this RFD coin that you could have bought on the 20th and it's up 10x. Its market cap is $63 million. So, I mean, this meme coin stuff is still going on. Like it's not like it even like died a week ago. Like there's still people printing bags left and right. So maybe the Pepe mania has subsided a little bit, but there's still lots of coin action happening.
Someone
Honestly,
texted
I
me.
think it's kind of a good thing. Not PSYOP, but just like the choice of vertical for people to want to go and make their bags. Like if you want to do meme coins, you can do meme coins. That's going to take you through summer. But like if people who want to go and do blend products and borrowing and lending on blend, that's their vertical. They can go do that. Bitcoin, ordinals. I can completely see why a lot of people who just want to degen and want to do it simply will go over and do it on BTC. So I just think like, you know, the sort of narrative that things are really quiet, nothing's really happening, that isn't really there anymore because it's a choice of like, if you want to go make a bag, just choose your vertical and you might have to learn some new stuff along the way, but there are definitely profits to be made. So I think it's a good thing that meme coins are still there for the people who want to do it.
Signal supports bullshit meme coins, ladies and
not
gentlemen.
bullshit meme coins, not bullshit meme coins. I'm not
That's what I
talking
heard.
PSYOP. No. Don't put words in my mouth. All I'm saying is like there are ops. Earn your bag how you want to earn your bag. And if you want to degen in a simple way, there's ordinals. If you want to just like roll the dice at the craps table, you've got your meme coins. And if you want to be doing I'm a loan shark, then off you go and do blend.
Oh,
That's what
wow.
I say. I support people spending money however they want. You know what I mean? Like that's called freedom, dude. Spend your money on whatever you want. But if you get wrecked, don't complain. Don't complain to anybody other than yourself in the mirror. That's the rules.
That's what I'm talking about, Kicks. Nick, you were laughing. You were shaking your head. I just wanted to hear from you before we dish out today's free NFT.
Well, you can't dish it out because it's not working. So I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have an unexpected technical issue. Nifty Nick, the coder software engineer extraordinaire, is chefing up a solution very, very, very quick. Anyway, before the free NFT, we can finish talking about some of this action. Oh, Clemente put together a whole section on Bitcoin ordinals in the call sheet that I completely ignored. Thank you, Clemente.
Can I just say one thing, Pio, before we wrap?
Of course.
There was, from a producer point of view, I'm a little sad because last week I had a whole segment about how art blocks may be making a comeback. The segment was called "Is Art Primed for a Run?" And I'm a little hurt that it wasn't covered, considering that 4 days later we saw a little bit of a
Clemente, just send this alpha straight to my DMs, dude.
I think it's a short-term pump because of the 3 Hours Capital Sotheby's auction personally. That's something that I've been looking at too. Like you just had the Fidenza sell for $1 million. You just had everything else get liquidated there and actually sell for like decent numbers when you really break it down. And you then had the timeline kind of buzzing about early art blocks. There's an art blocks drops tomorrow that I think I've seen a decent amount of speculation on. I think it's the one that's minting in space. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but they're minting an NFT in space and then auctioning it tomorrow for an art blocks drop. Kind of cool. But overall, I think that this is a short-term pump on it. We like right now where crypto is ranging is like what's most interesting to me because we are seeing a mild pullback on crypto. We have the whole US debt ceiling situation going down. I think it does come down to the last minute. And once they announce a debt raise for the ceiling, risk on assets should take off if it does kind of pan out how I'm envisioning it, which you'll see crypto get some legs. I think we'll see a little bit of liquidity cycle back. If crypto starts ranging after that pump, NFTs in general should get a second leg, which I'm kind of excited for. It's kind of setting up nicely for a little bit of a start of summer run.
When do you think that's going to happen?
3 weeks.
The exact day, please.
Yeah. So probably 12 p.m. Eastern time on June. Let's go June 19th. It's kind of my bet. All right, June 19th.
Well, I like it. I like the sound of that. Clemente, I'll be sure you gotta nudge me on those segments in the future, buddy. Did we miss anything today?
No, the only thing was I put out a poll yesterday, and it seems like the majority, 60% of people that voted think that Degods and Captainz are going to flip mutants in the next 30 days. So that's the only interesting piece there. The people have spoken.
I've been long saying that Captainz specifically is going to flip mutants. I do have a Captain, so I am biased. But to me, the #1 collection, the premier collection, as they call it, from the meme land ecosystem, ahead of a token drop, should flip the number 2 collection of Bored Ape Yacht Club, even if it is Bored Ape Yacht Club. There's just so much going on, and from like an digital asset price perspective, it's a tough one. Spencer, what do you think of that? Do you think Degods and Captainz will flip Mutant Apes?
It's a tough one. I mean, I think that has to do more with Mutant Ape weakness than with their strength. I think the question is what happens to Mutant Apes into the next Yuga release more so than what happens to the rest of those things into anything else. That's kind of where I see this mattering.
Okay, Signal. What about you? You think Captainz has it in them to flip mutants?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. If with the token coming up, yeah, it's a no-brainer.
What about Degods?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Frank. I really like Frank, but
I think that's
Degods are gonna flip mutants.
You think is that because of the art change? You think that's because
once season 3 drops, it's going to be one of the biggest marketing pushes. The ETH side hasn't seen the power of those viral marketing campaigns, and if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Frank. Like now,
like,
it's slow rolling it. I'm
100 was like that. Well, like we've seen the power, but I'm just like that was Ute List when it hadn't minted at the beginning. We're now trying to push a collection from 8.4 above 10.
Remember, though, Degods saw a high of 12, so they've already done it. So like now it's a retracement with lack of information on Degods specifically. Look at Yuga's ecosystem and what their announcements are coming out around. It's going to be Legends of Mara. It's going to be heavy metal. It's going to be their games and not specific to either apes or mutants. It's newer assets. So my argument here is that for Yuga assets, my speculations on the newer plays, the newer options that they have, Other Deed Expanded, Vessels, Heavy Metal, which are much cheaper entry price, and increasing that floor price could inherently bring the additional assets higher. But I think their goal is to continue to bring value back to those with the 2 new game releases, whereas Degods' entire focus right now is increased floor price of Degods and Utes.
Yeah, but how many times can you keep changing art for the floor price to consistently stay above 10 ETH? Like, I feel like, yes, like they can do it a couple of times, and with Utes, we saw a huge delay on that. So I'm just like, okay, they can do it. Floor price might go up, but then does it retrace and settle back at 8.5? And then what's the next thing they'll come out with? I'm just a little bit concerned about how
I agree with that exact statement. I agree with that exact situation entirely, but we haven't seen art change yet on ETH. This is the first major play for the bridge post ETH. So you know that they have to go all out, because you fumble this or drop the ball here, it's going to be a much tougher hill to climb versus flipping mutants once, retracing under again, and then you have your runway set up. So like,
the real question is, do you think that Meme Land and or Degods will collab with PSYOP, and will that be the reason why they get above mutants?
They're going to collab with Ben and PSYOP.
Just throwing it out there.
Just throwing it out there. I love the debate from Easy and Signal on Degods. It's going to be interesting. Spencer, does Spencer Ventures hold Degods?
We still only hold Utes. I haven't bought into Degods. You know, it's not that I don't believe in Degods. I look at like Utes and have looked at Utes as sort of a more interesting
into the mic, please. We couldn't hear you.
Oh, I said I look at Utes as like a more unique exposure, basically. But I like Degods. I think that they like you got to think about it this way, right? If the bull market starts tomorrow, what collections run? For sure, Utes, right? Like it's for sure Utes, Captainz, Pudgies, right? Like but I don't think the bull market could start in tomorrow. So the question is, do we think Frank can maintain this level of relevance within the overall market until the next bull market? I think reasonably yes, right? Like that doesn't seem like a crazy statement. Would it shock me if they fell off? No, it's NFTs, it's crypto. Things fall off all the time, right? But could they? Yeah. And I think you'd be kind of like off your rocker to say there's no shot, right? And so I think that's your thesis. Now, do I think that Degods does a 10x in the next month or two? No, I don't think that's happening. And so it kind of has to do with where your capital wants to sit. But yeah, I don't know. They seem good. The ecosystem seems healthy, seems strong. I think, as you guys pointed out, there is a lot of pressure though on like what is the thing that you release as that collection, right? Like they've done a lot. We get it. Frank can do the whole hype everybody up, get the Twitterverse talking about you thing. I really want to see him deliver one more thing that's to the nth degree, right? Like we've seen them. DNYC was great, but I don't think that moved the needle so much for a lot of people, right? What is something that's like, oh, as a holder, I am really, 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 really hooked the fuck up to the nth degree. And it doesn't have to be a huge, huge, huge item, right? Like I think about who's done that successfully. The group that I think has done that the best is Azuki. What's Azuki? Azuki is like 3 parties and a jacket and like a Red Bull partnership. That's what Azuki
and a golden
is.
skateboard.
Oh, and a golden skateboard auction. Like that's all Azuki is. But every single one of those things, like they spent $7 million on their event in New York, and it was obscenely good, right? They spent.
Are you sure they spent that much?
Yeah, the rumor has it. They spent a lot of money on the jackets, right? You got to imagine those Twin Tigers jackets. That was a couple mil total to do, right? Like you got to think that's like probably over $100 per jacket. You got 10,000 holders. Like that's not a cheap exercise.
It was free for holders.
Free for holders. And so like, it's a great jacket. Like, and again, like it's a jacket in a fucking couple of parties, right? But they did it really well. And that's where I think like Degods needs to do one thing that seems too good. And I think that's what I'm looking for them to do. And I think they can do it. They have the resources, they have the team, but like, I want to see them execute something that isn't just like another NFT, whatever digital thing. It could be something digital, but like what's something that's like truly mind-meltingly good? That's what they need to do.
Okay. And then, all right, how about this? One question for Easy and Spencer. How big of a factor is the Polygon thing for Utes? Because Spencer just said unequivocally Utes would pump, but they're on Polygon.
Didn't say that.
You said it unequivocally.
You said they will absolutely pump. There's no second best. This is the old, but I think it's actually a pretty big factor. Like the thing is, looking at if you look at Polygon volume across the board, the volume is rough, and it's just a simplistic fact that like people complain about bridging to Sol, and despite Polygon being an EVM chain, they're more focused on bridging to Sol than Polygon. Like Sol's still doing over $1 million in USD volume a day for NFTs. Polygon's sitting about 560. And it's mostly games. Like the games are the ones that gain traction over there. And it's kind of been the case. We've seen Cyber Stadium with consistent volume. We've seen Pirate Nation with consistent volume, which actually then went to Arbitrum. We've seen even like you look at something like Immutable X, which is almost entirely Gods Unchained, a card game, doing almost 1 million volume. It's tough when Polygon doesn't have like these flagship products. They just launched do.gg, which is like a Blur sort of iteration on Polygon for like hyper volume trading. And I'm a fan of Do. I've used it and I've traded Polygon assets, especially when Utes was about to bridge. You saw a couple pumps and some good volume there, but the sustained volume is very limited because people would rather trade on ETH. And like, why would I want to bridge to Polygon when I can just trade ETH?
I love it. I got distracted for a second by the comments all talking about Clemente. It's pretty funny. Ladies and gentlemen, if you
Someone
only
said it looks like he's playing pickleball.
if you're
I
only
bet Clemente crushes some pickleball, dude. I would pick him on my team.
he's a D1 tennis player.
Oh shit, yeah, athlete.
So I think he can handle some pickleball. Yeah,
he got played in college.
I mean, I played squash with Nick the other day, and honestly, not even gonna lie, because like, look, I'll be the first person to make fun of Nick. Like, I think we all know this. I'll make fun of Nick in a heartbeat. But when we played pickleball the other day, his technique.
It wasn't pickleball.
Oh, squash. It's the same thing.
Nick's got like a good lower frame of his body. You know what I mean? Like he can really,
You should have seen like the way he came through with the hips, like the way he drove through. I'm not a tennis guy, but you saw the hips move.
Well,
you know what I
using
mean?
Tennis strategy for squash, which actually the real pros would actually say that I'm not doing it properly because the best squash players can really flick it with their wrist. Anyways, it's live, and 5 of the gladiators have already been claimed. So you should give away the code.
All right. Well, here we go. Clemente, please.
Today's password is Arena1. Arena1. So go to the nifty.com, put in the password Arena1 to claim today's free NFT courtesy of Cyber Stadium. If you win a gold, we're going to give away 10 golden tickets today. And if you win a golden ticket, you have won a gladiator. And Kicks, while I'm pulling up the free NFT to mint today, do you want to talk a little bit about the Midnight Heist game you guys are rolling out?
Yeah, definitely. So if you all go to Cyber Stadium on Twitter, you can see a picture of the UI for the new game. It looks quite beautiful, if I may say so myself. But basically, the best way to describe it is it is a attack defend auto battler game. You can kind of consider it sort of like team fight tactics and like Rainbow Six Siege together. So the whole premise is it's one team is attacking and they're trying to like breach into a building, and the other team is defending that attack. So every time you join a match, you're going to get a random selection of gadgets, weapons, armor, and operators. And the operators all have different classes and abilities. And you basically draft your ideal team. You have a couple re-rolls you can do if you're trying to find like an upgrade. And then you'll go to a screen where you're basically like on a map, and you can, defend the front door. If you're on offense, you can YOLO all 4 of your operators through one area. So it's an attack defend style auto battler game. It's all 100% on chain. Art is made with AI, but we're taking it another level here. We're going to be visualizing the battles with 3D models and everything like that. So keep an eye out for Midnight Heist. That'll be out in July. We'll definitely do something with the Nifty ahead of that. But for now, if you got a gold ticket, you got a Gladiator in Cyber Stadium. And Cyber Stadium is another 100% on-chain auto battler that we built that's been live for like 55 days now or longer.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, today's show is sponsored by Cyber Stadium, Kix's gaming enterprise. So we're obviously thrilled to have, someone in the family sponsoring the show today. It seems like I think our platform might be lagging a little bit, but you'll be able to claim these. The code's going to be the same. It'll be up and running. Don't worry about it.
It's just going slow.
Okay.
That's what happens when 500,000 people all at once attempt to. That's what's going on. But
Em said, how do you know if you got the golden ticket? The NFT will be golden. It'll look like I'm not even trying to be sarcastic. Just literally, it'll be a golden ticket. You'll 100% know.
That's like if you go to Katz's Deli in New York and you say, how do I know if I got the pastrami sandwich? It's like, dude, if you open up, if it's a pastrami sandwich, that's how you know you got it. You know what I mean? Anyway, ladies and
too, by the way, thanks for putting it together.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're definitely happy with the artwork, ladies and gentlemen. If you like the artwork, leave a comment. We love putting out these free NFTs. Mike Knight here is letting people know that the golden ticket is gold. So shout out to Mike Knight for solving the tough problems here, ladies and gentlemen. That's our show. If it was your first time listening, we run the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Eastern time, each and every week, talking all things NFTs, crypto, technology, entertainment, gaming, finance. Make sure you follow everybody on stage. Follow Spencer, Kix, Easy, Signal, Nick, Clemente, absolutely everyone. And we'll be back tomorrow. We do it Monday through Friday, like I said. So check it out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to see our faces, go on YouTube. Anyway, that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. We will catch you next time.